The other day, my beautiful wife and I decided that we would take our dog along for our regular walk. We hadn't taken him in a while and thought that he could use the exercise as well as ourselves. Needless to say, after being cooped up in the backyard for so long, he was ready for a good walk. I forgot to mention that Kim thought that I needed to walk after she observed me come out of my office several times to go outside to get some sunshine. As usual, she, being in tune with me, recognized that I was struggling with my creativity and invited me to walk. What a blessing she is. It was a beautiful day, the temperature was down, and there was a nice breeze. The sky was cloudy, making for a great sunblock, so we couldn't have picked a better day for a walk. Oh yeah, back to the dog. Since the title of this edition of Practical Assertion is, You Can't Teach an Old Dog New Tricks. Our dog is a chocolate lab weighing somewhere upwards of 65 pounds and strong as a government mule, as the old folks used to say. Since it had been a while since his last walk, he was excited and showed it by walking me rather than me walking him. After being pulled wherever he, the dog, wanted to go, I decided that I'd had enough. Obviously, he'd forgotten who was boss, I thought to myself. It was at that point that all of a sudden my creative juices started to flow, and this was the birthplace of our topic. I had been sitting in my office thinking about a counseling session that the beautiful woman and I had been in, where the live-in boyfriend was cheating on his girlfriend and actually has another girl pregnant, and also about another couple who is on the verge of divorce due to infidelity on the part of the husband. I was sitting behind my desk trying to figure out how I could tie this into a practical assertion, but nothing seemed right. While behind the desk, I struggled because every thought that I had was going to come out strong. And maybe you say, what's wrong with that? Well, on the surface, I couldn't agree with you more, but I kept thinking that there was a deeper message, a more powerful opportunity to teach a more potent lesson, but it wouldn't come to me until I was walking the dog. Why was our dog pulling me so? Why was it such a problem for me? He knew better than that. Truth be told, I really couldn't fault him too much because I couldn't help but think that it was mostly my fault. You see, when he was a puppy, I didn't really put the time into training him as I should have. You see, training at that stage in the relationship was critical. Yes, I said relationship. You can already see where this is going, huh? It is in this phase of the relationship that expectations are established. Now, just to be clear, I did take him for walks when he was a puppy, but not near as often as I should have. And he is a very smart dog, perhaps one of the smartest dogs I've ever owned. But every lesson taught must be reinforced, practiced, and performed over and over again. So part of the problem with the walk, the biggest part, was on me. You've heard the old saying, I'm sure, practice makes perfect. No truer words were ever spoken. By the way, it didn't take long for him, our dog, to stop pulling me. After a few strong pulls of the leash with his eyeballs bulging out, nah, just kidding. He remembered what happens when he hears the clink of the collar and soon became compliant. It also helped when I put a knot in the leash and held it at the knot, limiting the distance he had to pull. Keeping him on a short leash was the idea, and it worked. Before long, he was walking right by my side with no pull. The other thing that I realized while on the walk was that dogs, like all other animals, are territorial. He wanted to mark every tree, pole, hydrant, and anything else that he saw protruding out of the ground. I couldn't fault him for that because that's just what dogs do. Also, along the way, he looked at every other dog he saw. The other dogs, being territorial as well, became excited and barked either to invite him over or to say move on. Again, that's just what dogs do. So what's the point of this practical assertion, you ask? Are you curious to know what the lesson is supposed to be? Is it not obvious already? Well, there are several lessons. One, training in every relationship is important. Regarding us humans, dating is, or should be, the training phase. It is where expectations are set, learned, and practiced. Too much leash in training, allowing roaming rather than establishing territory, and being okay with hanging out with the other dogs, both male and female, will be a problem later in the relationship. Number two, the amount of training is key. I would recommend a minimum of 2 years of dating if local, and would not really recommend long distance relationships, that is training, because there will be too many things missed and too much smelling on each other when you do get together. Get it? Number 3, practice makes perfect. No need to expound on that point. Number 4, don't let too much time pass between walks lest your mate forgets how to walk by your side. Oh, that's good right there. The beautiful woman made a great point as we were walking and discussing this practical assertion, and that is, after so long, one should not have to be forced to walk by your side or with you only. Is that not powerful? Now do you see why I love this woman? One more humongous thought for the most beautiful woman in the world was that about the dogs, both male and female, who refuse to stay in the yard, that is within their territory. We know some of you have some comments about that. What lessons did you get out of this edition? We want to hear from you. Please go out to our website at www.asert-usa.com/blog and leave your thoughts there or on Facebook. Share this with everyone you know, especially to those whose dogs need some more training. Don't forget, there are both male and female dogs, right? We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next time for another edition of Practical Assertion. Take care.